What is up, guys? My name is Limes, and this is a RoI Talk short, kind of a shorter episode of RoI Talk where I just want to talk about a little thing in particular. Today I want to talk about Karapyss's ultimate, and in particular an abstract mechanic related to this that I like to call lingering damage over times. Now, the idea behind a lingering dot is that the longer a fight goes on, the more powerful the dot becomes. Now, this isn't specifically listed in the tooltip for the ability, but mathematically it can still apply. If you think about in the sense that each second the ability is doing a percentage of the enemy's current health and damage, and you'll kind of get the gist of it. So, as an example, let's assume Karapyss's ultimate does 100 flat damage per second, regardless of all the other stuff that Karapyss's ultimate actually does. Let's just assume it does 100 flat damage per second against people in the AoE radius. Now let's take an enemy with 1000 health and put them in said radius, and Karapyss's ultimate will be doing 10% of the enemy's health in damage every second, because 10% of 1000 is of course 100. Some basic maths there. So if we think about that, so every second they're taking 10% of their health, but because this percentage is based on their current health, the percentage goes up each second. So let's say now that after 5 seconds of this enemy being in Karapyss's ultimate, they're now on 500 health, because after 5 seconds they've taken 500 health, 5 times 100, more basic maths. So they're at 500 health now. Now the damage over time of 100 damage, instead of doing 10% every second, it's doing 20% every second. 100 into 500 is 20%. So now after 5 seconds of the enemy being in Karapyss's ult, they're actually taking more damage comparatively, based on their current health, which is really the important thing. If you're at 500 health, it doesn't matter that your max health is 1000, 2000, 5000, 12,000. The fact that you're on 500 health is the important thing, and now Karapyss's ultimate is doing more damage to you, relatively, if that makes any sense. So basically there's this relationship between how much damage a lingering dot does and how much time their lingering dot is active and doing damage. This is important in teamfights when Karapyss is just sitting there and there's crowd control going off, other damage being done by people, and he's just sitting there doing damage with his ultimate. It's slowly and slowly getting more of an Karapyss is doing a lot of damage, this is an issue kind of thing. And this relationship between damage and time actually grows exponentially. If you think about it, from when they have 1000 health to when they have 500 health, there is an increase in 10% in the damage, from 10% to 20%. Now, if you think about the last 2 seconds of someone's life after being hit with this ultimate, in the last second, they will have 100 health, as the dot in the last second would kill them, 100 damage. And in the second last second, they'll have 200 health, as 2 seconds after that, they will be dead. Now, if you actually think about those 2 seconds, in the last second, Karapyss's ultimate is doing 50% of their current health, as 50% of 200 is 100 damage, and you're doing 100 damage. And in the final second of someone's life, in Karapyss's ultimate, you're doing 100% of their health in damage. Now, this jump of 50% is huge compared to the jump of 10% at the very start. So you can see that kind of exponential trend being done with the damage. Now, arguably, this idea of something doing more damage the further into a fight or the longer it's being used in the fights stands with pretty much everything, in particular auto attacks, as you can kind of see the idea where auto attacks are being done each second or each 1.3 seconds or whatever your attack speed is, and that damage relatively gets higher and higher, similar to lingering dots. But the idea behind lingering dots is that they linger, they stay there. You can't avoid lingering dots without actually avoiding the fight altogether. And when you avoid the fight altogether, then there's no real mechanics happening in the first place, so nothing really applies anyway. that's just a quick little idea I wanted to throw out about Karapyss. I think he's a good immortal. I may do a full RoI Talk episode on him, as I think he is an interesting design choice by our petroglyph. But that's just something to think about when you're playing him, or when you're up against him. His ultimate, it's like, it doesn't do that much damage at the moment, but I think the mechanic behind it is still very interesting. My name is Limes, and I'll see you guys later.